Hey everyone, Blazam here, and welcome to another Destiny 2 Titan build video. Today's build will be geared more towards new lights and returning D2 players who just want a quick start guide to get back into playing the game. So if you like what you see today, please like, comment, and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and let's get started. Okay, so I like my builds with a little flavor. I usually like to build around some sort of thematic element, kind of like how you would in Magic the Gathering with like a commander deck. So when I'm doing normal day-to-day stuff, I usually like to mess around with builds like the one you'll see here today. It's fun to make builds with a theme in mind. It keeps the game interesting. So today our build is going to revolve around the exotic armor piece Mask of the Quiet One, which reads, grants ability energy when you are damaged. While you have a Void super equipped, rapid final blows and final blows while you are critically wounded grant Devour. For our new lights here, who might not know what Devour is, it is a Void subclass buff that states final blows restore health, grant grenade energy, and extend the actual duration of Devour. Really powerful. It's one of the most powerful effects in the game. And basically, with this exotic alone, we could potentially achieve 2% of what a normal Void Warlock main experiences naturally. With the right setup, getting rapid Void kills will become second nature, and gaining Devour for slaying out will help keep us sustained and unkillable. You really don't have to do anything too fancy. As long as you have a pretty solid Void primary killed, everything else will just kind of fall into place naturally. You won't have to think too hard or overcalculate a decision in order to make the build work. So from the top, let's start with the super. I'm choosing to go with Twilight Arsenal. I think Sentinel Shield can work here too, but thematically I'm liking the axes. Plus being able to debuff targets for our weapons damage rotation is huge. If you want to run this in a team setting, use a super that is appropriate to your needs. All are fine here. For our aspects, I'm going with Controlled Demolition and Unbreakable. Controlled Demolition will help support our need for rapid Void kills by spreading Volatile around the battlefield and healing us when we need the boost. Unbreakable is a flavor pick. This allows us to summon a Void Shield in front of us that will absorb damage and grant us an Overshield while held. As you are holding the Void Shield in front of you, this will steadily drain your grenade energy, so just keep that in mind. When you release your grenade button, final blows with the front blast will also grant us Devour. This is just a little failsafe in case we need to reproc Devour for any reason. Now for our aspects, we're going to take Echo of Harvest to make Void Breaches and Orbs of Power, Echo of Persistence to ensure that our Overshields and Devour have the maximum duration possible, Echo of Expulsion to help our uptime for rapid kills as much as possible, Echo of Undermining. We take this because we need a source of weakening combatants outside of our super. This helps a ton with Devour feeding us more and more grenade energy as we get kills, that way we have near constant uptime. Lastly, Echo of Vigilance here is a flex slot. This gives us an overshield when our shields are broken and we get a kill. This can be swapped out for a fragment of your choosing. Echo of Cessation or Echo of Remnants are good picks. For our artifact, we're going to be using the NPA Repulsion Regulator. And from the left, we're going to be using Volatile Flow to give us volatile rounds, giving us some flex for weapon choices. Sustained Fire to give us more DR since we are actively using an auto rifle in this build. We're going to take Protective Breach here. With the amount of Void Breaches we end up spawning on the battlefield, we'll always have an Overshield even if we're not actively getting a weapon kill with something like Repulsor Brace. We're going to take Bricks from Beyond. This is incredibly useful to keep heavy ammo flowing for you and your teammates. We take Unto the Breach for more constant Void Breach generation, Supernova so that when we pick up a Void Breach, we can spread more of the weakened debuff on a precision kill, and finally, we take Void Weapon Channeling for a little added damage for our DPS. Okay, now for the armor. There are two sets that you can use to make this work, either the U Technology set, which drops from Arena and Pinnacle Ops, or the Rooted Nightmare set. Now for the first part of the video, we have footage playing of what the build looks like looking set 1 or the U Technology set. The 2-piece bonus spawns a Void Breach when rapidly defeating enemies, and the 4-piece triggers a Void Explosion on our next Void Weapon kill after we collect a Void Breach. It's a lot of fun, there's lots of huge Void AoEs, and it's pretty fun in the normal day-to-day. It's a build, or it's a setup that you could just take into anything and it'll be fine. But we're here for flavor. We're here for the theme. This means that the Root of Nightmare set is actually the more fitting choice here. Nezarec decided to be funny and not grant me powerhouse legs, but we adjust. The 2-piece for the Root of Nightmare set gives you an escalating chance to make an Orb of Power. It should be noted here that these are not the fat juicy orbs of power. It's like the little small ones that you get from your normal siphon mods and things like that. And the 4-piece set bonus gives you Devour when you perform a finisher on a powerful combatant. Keep in mind, this is any combatant that isn't a red bar that you can perform a finisher on, okay? So you get Devour for just doing that. But more importantly, for our build specifically, while you have Devour, you gain damage resistance against combatants. Now, this is seemingly a 20% damage resist buff, and that bonus damage resistance more closely fits the thematic element of the build we're going for today. I think both sets are fine. I would, if you're able to, try out both and see which best suits your playstyle. I should make a note here that set 1 is a lot more fun, but if you're going into harder content with this build specifically, the Root of Nightmare set is going to be the better play overall for the harder content, since you're actively getting more survivability from running it. Okay, I am going to go over the mods you want to run in each of your pieces, but I think it makes more sense to go over the weapons that we're going to use. Okay, so originally, before I really dived into making this entire build for us today, originally the build video really started as a means to use the tried and true Izanagi rocket launcher combo. I was missing the days long past when I first got a hold of both Izanagis with the catalyst, and when I finally got the requisite comp points to get the Recluse for the first time when it was released. So while we have the thematic element of an Immortal Knight, I was really just, reminiscing on my time here in Destiny 2, and this just seems, quite common for us nowadays, given the state of things. So yeah, this build is really just a roundabout way to use and have a reason to use Izanagi's Burden again. It might not be optimal, but I like the gun. It's one of my favorite exotics, and for our purposes here today, it does have a whole ass sword ornament. So why not just lean into that a little bit? For our new lights or our returning players who might not know what Izanagi's Burden is, it is a kinetic adaptive frame sniper rifle. It has intrinsic anti-barrier capabilities. Its main exotic trait is you basically stack an entire magazine into one bullet, and that one bullet with the catalyst does a lot of damage. It's honestly not the most amount of damage you could get out of a given special weapon. Hell, rapid fire fusion rifles with controlled bursts do more damage overall, I think. Yeah, but it's a cool exotic. It fits the theme that we're going for here today, and again, I just missed having a reason to run around with it. Now, in our energy slot, the only hard recommendation here is that you should be using a Void primary. Thankfully, we have so many of those these days, and what you're really looking for is the Repulsor Brace and D-Stab rounds combo. It's so good. It'll just feed into itself as you're playing and keep you alive just from the gun itself. The one that we're using here today is the Riposte from Comp, because once again, it's flavor Riposte. But yeah, any Void primary that can roll Repulsor Brace or D-Stab rounds, or again, just to clarify, any Void primary that rolls with Void-centric perks that makes sense for how you want to play this game. Make sense? Okay, and lastly, for our heavy weapon, we're going to be using a Tomorrow's Answer. This is a Void high impact frame rocket launcher. This one that you'll be seeing in the video is one with impact casing, Envious Arsenal, and bait and switch. And that's really it. It's all you're really doing with this specific setup is enabling bait and switch to proc as a damage perk, except you're doing it with Izanagi. So in an optimal rotation, you would have charged your Izanagis for the one big shot, get the precision hit, and then enable the bait and switch loop. Just keep in mind that if you are doing that, you need to be restacking Izanagis before you swap down to your primary weapon and then to your heavy, right? Just keep that in mind. It is there's a rhythm and there's a flow to it, but if you really want to try it out, it's a pretty sick combination for weapons and stuff like that, and it feels really cool to pull off correctly. Okay, and then lastly, for the mods on your armor pieces, in your helmet, you want to be running a siphon mod to make orbs of power, and then your heavy ammo or special ammo scouts and finders, that can be adjusted to what your needs in like a team setting are and what kind of content you're doing. Arms, I'm recommending, a harmonic loader as well as a kinetic loader to help with the Izanagi stacking animation, because reloaders will help speed up that animation. It's a little slow. On your chest piece, run your resistances, legs. You could do your surges as well as a better already mod. I like doing that since we're making so much or so many orbs of power, picking them up will allow us to heal, which is super nice. And then lastly, on your class item, I like running things like Reaper, time dilation, and powerful attraction. Again, this is more just like boosting your neutral gameplay. Please just set your mods up in a way that makes sense for the content you're doing. And again, I can't stress this enough, set your entire build up the way that you want to play the game. All I'm offering here today is one way that you can play Void Titan thematically, at the very least. The world's your oyster, you know what I mean? Like, you don't have to do every single thing that I'm doing in the build to have fun in the game. It's fun regardless. If you want to get just the UTech set and a Void primary and the exotic, like, that's honestly enough. You can do whatever you want. Do whatever you like. Okay, use whatever types of weapons. The only recommendation, if you're going to be using this, have a good Void primary. That's like the baseline that you would want. Okay? And that wraps it up for me. If you stuck around this long, please like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell for notifications. Thank you so much if you made it all the way to the end. I'll see you guys next week. It's Iron Banner, baby! We got Fell Winters coming!